My name's Ellie, welcome to my channel, and we're doing makeup again. I had a very specific makeup look in mind when I thought about picking out this outfit, and as you can tell, we're doing, burgundy berry tones and mustard. So, Gemini and Queen of Hearts palette are happening again. Foundation, eyeshadow primer, base shades, all of that is already on. I mainly want to do like a combination between Mochi and Lorelei in the crease, and then most of the rest of it's coming out of Queen of Hearts. I want to use Ladyship. I think it'll play more into the burgundy tones in relation to those, and then I want to use Noblewoman and Your Majesty. Depending on how we're feeling, I might try Gemini on the inner corner, but Gemini always lets me down, so we will see what happens. I don't know why Gemini works so differently for me than goals. It's still really annoying. Because it would make the palette a lot more of a standalone palette if it would just work for me. But I'm going to start with just Mochi. And really try and thin that out, because Mochi has a lot of green tones in it, and I want to do more of the mustard on it, so that's why I'm going to then take Lorelei over top, and I think together, if I keep them a bit more sheer, but layered, should be able to get a nice, decently true mustard. Still a little green, but we have layers to build. So I'm going to keep alternating back and forth, and then when I go over it with the big fluffy brush, I will probably tap into both colors just to have a pre-mixed gradient. Some stuff has come in the mail. The birthday presents I ordered for my sister and my boyfriend came, and since neither of them live with me, I need to figure out how to either drop them off and kind of ding-dong ditch them on their porches, or mail them, depending on that. My boyfriend's gift is a little less pressing. It's a game, but it's a game for a console he hasn't bought yet because he wanted the game and the console, and he's trying to find a good time to buy a console. I forgot how ridiculously expensive consoles are, especially when they're like just coming out, because I don't play games, I don't buy consoles. Once in a blue moon I'll look at like, maybe if I got an Xbox or a PS something, it'd be worth it, and I look at the prices and I'm like, nope, no. Too much. So I normally just buy games for the boyfriend to play, and then I can watch from a distance. I'm also very not good at video games. Some of which I like to blame on my parents. They did not buy us any game consoles growing up. We just we read a lot of books, we did a lot of playing outside. They did a medium good job limiting our TV and video game time. Technically, if we saved up, we were allowed to buy our own consoles, but me and my sisters generally, if we wanted to go play a game, we'd go play at somebody's house who already had it. My brother did buy a console or two, but it was like a Game Boy and stuff like that. And then of course, if we wanted to use it, we had to borrow it from him, and he was busy using it because it was his and he enjoyed it. Yeah, so I never got the baseline hand-eye coordination that most people have when they start playing, like, because they grew up playing things, they got better at just knowing what their hands are going to do with the controls. I never got through that phase, so I'm very bad at it, and I get frustrated. I'm going to go into Ladyship now to put it on the outer half of my crease. So yeah, I get annoyed very easily because it's hard. Games are hard when you don't have good hand-eye coordination skills and the controls are not intuitive, and I do better when I just let somebody else play and I get to watch as more of like a very long movie. Oh, that's nice if I leave it light. If I ever wanted to do a very chill look, I would do that type of a crease. If I'm still furloughed next week, I thought about potentially doing a week of colors, like Monday being red, Tuesday being orange. That might be fun. Yeah, but my sister's gift is something that she wanted and she does have like an immediate use for if I can get it to her. I think I'll probably ask her what she prefers. Be like, hey, I'm gonna go leave this box on your porch. Don't touch it for a couple days. Let any cross-contamination germs go away. That's looking appropriately sickly. I'm gonna take a touch of mochi. Just kind of fluff it over the edges. Then we get to go in with the fun colors. Okay, going in with Nobleman first. Has more of that red tone that I really want. And I might take a little bit of Queen Mother after everything's placed, just on like the very outer edge. Because this has the right amount of red tones, but it's a little lighter than what I was picturing. Doesn't take very much at all to get the opacity I want, but then I keep layering it just because I don't know when to stop. I have been doing a lot of online window shopping. A lot of just like scrolling through stuff, adding things to my cart, and then closing the screen. I do like that. Colored Raine just makes some really gorgeous shimmer shades. They make gorgeous matte shades too. They have a very good formula. because I have hooded eyes, that inner corner, like that really, really inner bottom bit is hard to get to, so I try to buff it down there, hoping that will help. Generally it allows it to reach down there. If I ever wanted to just have a lot of amazing warm tones, I would pan my Queen of Hearts palette. They're such pretty shades. So pretty. Okay, now we're gonna go in with a tiny little bit of Queen Mother and just put it out there. Like the teensiest bit. And then I might run it on my lower lash line. And honestly, Noblewoman and Queen Mother blend together to make a really, really gorgeous shade that I do a lot. Oh, I like that. Again, this is one of the looks that I do pretty often. I don't normally mix Lorelei in to kind of like mustard it up. I let it be more swampy green, but they play really well together. I think I am going to try to put Gemini on the inner corner. We will see how it goes. I am not optimistic, but since Gemini doesn't like to stick to my lid, I'm going to put a bit of a cream shadow on that inner corner first. Like just picking up a tiny little bit on a pointed pencil brush. Then we will just buff it in. And then give that a little time to lose some excessive tackiness by doing the other eye. And then we will put down Gemini. And if I remember at the end, I'll do a swatch and show you guys just how Gemini doesn't seem to adhere to my skin. It really is kind of like they forgot a binding ingredient. And so like all the pigment's there and it was moist enough to press into the pan, but it just, it's like working with a bad loose powder product. It just doesn't stick. Like, that's a lot of product. And outside of the areas that I got with that cream base, it's not sticking. Like that lower bit right there, didn't get any cream shadow there, so it's not going to stick there. It's not going further back onto my lid than where I got the cream shadow. Like it not even goes a little outside and then kind of comes back. If there's no cream shadow, it does not stick. It's pretty once it's there. I'm going to take a little bit of crown over top just to hide the blatant edges of the cream shadow. And then take a little bit of Your Majesty to make sure the lid stays the lid. And then dust away anything we don't want. Yeah. It's a pretty shadow. It's just, it's so much work for something that is just not that interesting of a shade. It just isn't. Oof. So, do you guys have the same issue with that shadow? It really hates me. It does not. Like, I think the only other shadow I've had a similar issue with was the Nabla Shimmer Shades, which I gave away, because I'm like, yeah, these work really well and are very pretty when I put down a cream base, but they don't stick. I don't know what about them will not stick to my lid. The singles, their singles work just fine. The shimmers in their pressed palettes will not. At least the one I had the Dreamy palette, and it was gorgeous and it was fantastic, and I wanted to use it and really, really love it. Because it was really pretty shades. The mattes were great. The mattes worked really, really well. They were great. And the shimmers in the palette worked really well with the mattes in a color theory way. But they would not stick to my face without additional... Like, I have a primer down. It does grip shadows. And it needed extra. It needed either a glitter glue or like a fresh cream shadow. Otherwise, it was not sticking, no matter how much I put down. No matter what brush I used, it just would not. And I'll do that for certain shadows if I'm trying to pan something, or if it's a longevity thing. Like with the Lila palette, I put them down because there is some soft creasing from the shimmer shades in my crease if I'm wearing them for a long time, and I normally am, because in the before days, I would put on makeup and I'd wear it to work, and if I put my makeup on at 6 or 7 in the morning, I don't come home until 5, or if I want to go and do something after work, that's a really long day, and I need my foundation and eyeshadow and everything to look reasonable. Like, I don't need it to look super, super, like, just done fresh, but I need it to look like it was not done 3 days ago and is melting off my face. I don't like that. I feel like I've gotten my primers to a point that I shouldn't have those types of issues. I feel like I buy high quality products that should last a regular day. A great deal of people are buying makeup to wear it for a day. Products that are only made to last 3 or 4 hours piss me off. Why make a product that you're not intending to actually, like, be a long-term thing? It's kind of why I hate eye glazes. I hate products that I know... Oh, there's fun glitchiness. Great. I hate products that I know will not last. Like, there's a difference between, yeah, it won't last on my skin. Like, dewy foundations, they're not for me because of how oily my skin is. I need matte products in order for it to survive my base oil production. So I don't buy those because those aren't formulated for my skin. But something like an eye glaze or like a face gloss that I know is not meant to stay on a face for even an hour. It's not going to. It's going to eat your makeup. Yeah, we're doing a bit too much blush today. It's fine. Still all glitchy and weird. At least from what I can see on the playback. Okay. That's most of it. I think I'll do... Ooh, we're gonna do my Franken blush today. No, that we just did Franken blush. Franken highlighter. After brows. Oh, and there goes the light. So, I get really annoyed about spending a good amount of money on products that don't last. Because you can assume, yeah, there's some products that it doesn't matter as much if they're short term, if they're like, no, even then, because I feel like you should have products that last 12 plus hours. When things say, oh, 36-hour wear, I think that's ridiculous, but because most people are not wearing products and not washing their face at least one time in a day. I'm sure there are certain people on, like, photo shoots or filming productions that do in fact need products to last hours and hours and hours beyond the normal day-to-day wear. But you also have makeup artists that are there to do touch-ups and refresh makeup specifically so that it looks the same between takes. They're going to do that, and most of the products they're working with are ones that should be engineered for day-to-day people. Marketing something to the general public with, it's gonna last 48 hours. How many people are not redoing their makeup if they're wearing something for 2 days? Most people wash their face, take a shower at some point in a 2-day period, or they go to sleep. It's unlikely that your products are going to last through the way people toss and turn in their face, touches their sheets and their pillowcase and everything. That's not what they're saying. They're not saying that it'll last through taking a nap so you can take a nap in the afternoon and then still have a good face of makeup to go out in. That's not what they're marketing. They're marketing that it'll stay on your face while you're doing stuff, assuming that you're going to be awake for over 24 hours. Which is not the general thing. Looping way back. I don't like when products are made to fail in under 12 hours. I feel like a majority of people put on their makeup before going and doing something for a day. So even if it's not like, yeah, they get up, crack of dawn and do their makeup. If I wanted to put on my makeup at noon and then go out to, lunch with friends and then go to dinner with my boyfriend and then go out to something else, I would expect my makeup to last, to function throughout, from when I put it on to when I want to take it off, within reason, sometime the same day. So, face glosses make me angry. Products that don't... Like, I get that glitter often needs additional adherence. I get that some indie brands assume you're gonna buy their sticky base. That's fine. But a pressed shimmer shadow that is just like a normal, chill thing, not adhering and not functioning, over a regular eyeshadow primer really angers me. Because the Lila shadows I could wear without a cream shadow down, and probably nobody else would notice. I would be able to see the slight fading, but I don't think it's something most people would be close enough to my face and would, like, really, really notice. That's a me preference. That's a hyper extra, I like a certain look type thing. Because there are people who like the dewy broken down look, and I don't. I do not like, if I put it in there, I want it to stay where I put it. I don't like blush and highlighters that fade, although highlighter is harder to see because I have natural oils that come through. Normally not to being, like, greasy, but to being dewy. Dewy's a fine level to get to. Although some of my favorites keep me exactly the way it looks, like, no extra shine, no nothing, like, keeps me matte like I just set my face, and those are my favorite. Okay. Brows are on. Highlighter it is. I feel like since I figured out how to do this highlighter, I'm going to pan it extremely slow. It's a nice glow when I get it right, but when I try to build it too much, we get a little too orange. Okay, but it is a nice, it blends into the blush nicely. Setting the face. Where was it going? That was one of the reasons I was excited about the Butter London Glaze-In Eyeglosses. Because they were a gloss. They were an eyegloss, but they weren't like most glosses. They did set down. So you'd put it on, you had so much working time, and then it was more of a jelly shadow that had shimmer bits in that the way you could apply it and buff it out would give a similar reflection to an eyegloss. Kind of like how you can take certain shimmer shadows and just really buff them until they're a nice smooth surface that reflects like it is an eyegloss. If I really wanted the look of an eyegloss, I could probably, with the right brush, take something like Dethrone that is deep but has some metallic bits and buff it so that it's a smooth, reflective surface. The same type of look you get from eyeglosses, without the gooiness, that's another thing I cannot with the texture of having something goopy on my eye. Nope. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. I made tea and I keep putting it over here so I can drink while do my makeup, and then I don't do that. So, trying to remember to do that. I do like the eyes. Oh, so pretty. I don't know what my lip plan is. I'm trying not to buy more lipstick because I don't use the majority of the ones I have. But I have finished some things. I have had things go off. And I know I just talked about not really feeling like supporting bigger brands right now, kind of wanting to be on the Indian small business page if I am making purchases. but ABH is launching some lip glosses. And I have panned ABH lip gloss, which I was moderately happy with. I'm more tempted, because I panned Moon Jelly, which was a sheer gloss, well, honestly, a clear gloss with some iridescent glitter bits in it. I'm tempted because the gloss set seems to have some shimmer and some just cream nudie bits. But I'm probably going to not do it. It's going to be one of those things I look at, and then it's just going to sit until I can move past it. Kind of like the Urban Decay Wired palette. I still kind of want it, but enough has happened that it's not like a new fresh product. It's not like a must-have right now craving. I have so much other makeup to entertain me for now that it might just sit until either there's a coupon and I'm in a good place to treat myself, or until I stop craving it altogether. Like, the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I originally really wanted. I thought about it a lot. I had like a specific, I'm going to buy it on this time with this reasoning, and this is what I'm going to use in the meantime. I had a whole system. And I waited long enough that it was like, okay, it's not new. There's none of the, like, new fun thing urge to buy, but it was still on the, like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it eventually. Eventually I'm gonna pick it up. And then I just kept, it was never, like, a good time. There was never, like, a, oh yeah, I should get that right now. And I kept having other things that I wanted more than it, so I kept not picking it up, and at this point, I feel like it's not interesting enough or new enough to get me really excited. And I have so many other warm tone palettes that are more colorful, more fun. And I have that Bobbi Brown Infrared, which does the warm nude more succinctly, in my opinion. That, unless it was gifted to me, I really don't think I have any plans to. Oh no. When did you zoom in? Why did you zoom in? Not that that's horrible framing, but, well, you can see the eyes now. Let me, we can stay here. I was gonna zoom you back out, but we can stay here for now. I don't know why it zoomed in. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use the other nude cream gloss that I have. This is from Bite Beauty, Discontinued Salted Caramel Gloss. Yep. Why did you zoom in, camera? When did you zoom in? How long have you been zoomed in? Yeah. This gloss is not my favorite. And it's probably why I'm tempted by other nude cream glosses. It's not self-leveling. It's too thick so that when I, like, shape my lips, it leaves a blank spot. So I have to keep pressing my lips together to evenly thin the gloss out. But I like the effect. Once I have it settled, I like the effect of a cream gloss without any glitter. But that is the look. Yeah, unless it's gifted or sent to me or I have a resurgence of my craving, I don't think I'm getting the Naked Heat ever. And that's just one that I left long enough that the initial urge was gone, and then the remaining urge also kind of pittered out. And I have since got something else that I think is a better use of the space. Like, it's fewer shadows. They might not be a smaller volume of product, but they're more precise color story. I don't know. I like the eye look. I don't know how well it really does the burgundy thing, but it's pretty. Yeah, so we are trying to just push out all of my temptations until the main part of the craving passes, which is my general rule for trying to not buy stuff, is put it off. Put it off until something new comes along and I forget about it, or until I've, wanted something for years or, a really long time. If I've wanted something for a really long time and I've waited long enough that I've wanted it for several months, or it goes on sale and I, want it, or I've had time to shop my stash and be like, yeah, the color stories are truly unique, and or the ones I have in those colors don't work as well as I think the ones I'm wanting are going to, or just any variety of things like that. I want my purchases to be more thought out, and waiting a long ass time helps. And then there's stuff like Natasha Denona where I'm just like, yeah, gimme. Because I know I really, really like that formula, and I'm happy slowly replacing certain parts of my collection with colors in her formula. But I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is not that pink. I'm kind of proud of myself. It only took a couple days to do a not very pink look. I'm really annoyed that my camera has started randomly zooming in, and I don't know what's prompting it, but we will see. I'll see you guys next time.